Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, that is Medical Biochemistry by Dr. Suman Jain. And I would like to thank you all that now I have in less than 1 week I have 85 subscribers. So today we start with an interesting topic, that is acid base balance. So how acids are produced in our body and how bases and how they are balanced. So we have seen that as acids are produced by here increase in CO2 molecules which reduces the pH. And now we start with acid base balance. So definition. Now what are acids? Acids are those substances which donate proton, whereas bases are those substances which accepts proton. So here in this reaction these are acids because they donate these H plus ions, and these two, here you can see these two, chloride and bicarbonate, they are bases as they accept proton and gets converted into HCl. So they are accepting protons, so they are bases. They are donating proton or removing protons, so they are acids. Now acids produced in our body also carbonic acids are very important acid which is produced in excess by CO2, and sulfuric acid, it is produced by sulfur containing amino acid. Phosphoric acid is produced by phosphorus containing amino acids, and organic acids in all the pathways like citric acid, lactic acid. Lactic acid is produced by lactates, and these organic acids, many more are produced. But bases in our body are produced only are bicarbonate and biphosphate. Now we see some terms, that is pH is equal to what? It is minus log of H plus ions. pH, it is a scale where we identify or which way where we. So pH is minus log of H plus ion. We know that when H plus ions are increased and their log, we see it is a pH. pH is a scale where we see less than 7 is acids, more than 7 are bases, more than 7.1 are bases, and 7 is the neutral, that is no acid, no base. Alkali reserve is bicarbonate in our body, which is 24 millimole per liter. Its averages this, and if we see range, then it is 22 to 26 millimole per liter. Then pK is equal to pH. When it is acid is half ionized, then pK value is equal to the pH value. Now we see buffer. What are buffer? It is a solution which resists this change in pH. They are mixture of weak acids and their salts with strong base. So weak base with its salt with strong base is also another buffer. So here in our case it is weak acid with a salt of strong base. Now mechanism of regulation of pH. We have seen that our blood pH is in narrow range from 7.35 to 7.45. How this range is maintained? What are the mechanisms which are responsible to keep this pH in this narrow range? So there are 3 mechanisms which regulate this blood pH. These are, number 1 are blood buffers, number 2 respiratory mechanism, and number 3 is renal mechanism. Now number 1, blood buffers. So in our body, blood buffers are of 4 which regulate acid base balance. That is bicarbonate buffer, which is made up of sodium bicarbonate, and weak acid, that is carbonic acid, and its salt, it is with strong base, it is sodium bicarbonate. Then phosphate buffer, which is a mixture of disodium hydrogen phosphate and sodium dihydrogen phosphate. Then protein buffer, which is amino acids, and hemoglobin as a buffering agent. Hemoglobin also acts as a buffering agent, so hemoglobin also is a buffer. Then now we come one by one. The first one is bicarbonate buffer. It consists of weak acid, that is carbonic acid, and its salt with strong base, that is sodium bicarbonate. Its normal ratio, if we see, then it is bicarbonate to acid 20:1. That is 20 bicarbonate molecule and only 1 acid molecule. The neutralization of strong and non-volatile acid which are entering the extracellular fluid is achieved by bicarbonate buffer. It is present in very high concentration than other buffer. It produces H2CO3 which is weak acid and CO2 is exhaled out. So this produces H2CO3. This H2CO3 is broken down into CO2 plus H2O, and this CO2 is removed by respiration. It acts as frontline defense. How it is acting? See, if it is acidic, if the medium is acidic, like you say, if lactic acid is there in the medium, if increase in lactic acid, this lactic acid will produce H plus ion and lactate ion. This H plus ions, now increase in H plus ions takes place. So if the medium becomes acidic, then this bicarbonate plays a role. This bicarbonate takes in this H and it gets converted into H2CO3. In the same way, if it is basic, if the environment is basic, or you can say increase in OH ion, or then what happens, this H2CO3 comes in role, it removes H plus ion and get converted into bicarbonate, and this H plus ion then gets added with the OH ion to produce water, or with the, you can say, base. If it is lactate or some other base, it will combine with it and form the product. Now bicarbonate buffer system, we have seen it is regulated. Bicarbonate is always regulated by kidney, whereas H2CO3 is always regulated by respiratory component. So the normal bicarbonate level is 24 millimole, that is between 22 to 26 millimole. The normal PCO2 of arterial blood is 40 mmHg, which is from 35 to 45. The normal carbonic acid in blood is 1.2 millimole per liter. Now the pKa value of carbonic acid is 6.1. So on substituting this value in Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, we see that it is pH is equal to pKa plus log of base upon acid. This bicarbonate, so the value of bicarbonate, when we put, the value of bicarbonate is 24 and H2CO3 value is 1.2. When we put and take out their log, then the value comes to be 7.4. So it is efficient. This proves that this buffer system is efficient buffer system. Now coming to the phosphate number 2 buffer, that is phosphate buffer system. This is present in intercellular, and it is the bicarbonate, sorry, it is not bicarbonate, it is disodium hydrogen phosphate and sodium dihydrogen phosphate. Its normal ratio is NaHPO4, that is base is coming up and acid coming down, that is 4:1, which was 20:1 in carbonic acid. So how it functions? When the medium is acidic, when there is acid production, then this disodium hydrogen phosphate, that is a base, it comes in action, it takes H plus ions from the environment and gets converted into NaH2PO4, that is sodium dihydrogen phosphate. This sodium dihydrogen phosphate comes in action when there is basic environment. When it becomes basic environment, it gives out H plus ion and again gets converted into disodium hydrogen phosphate. In this way, sodium dihydrogen phosphate and disodium hydrogen phosphate act as a buffer. This bicarbonate we have already seen. So here I have also shown that from C, when it is HCl, it produces chloride and H plus ion. So the environment becomes H plus ion, that is acidic, then this disodium hydrogen phosphate comes in action. Now protein as a buffer. So all the proteins are made up of amino acids. How they act, like, see, if it is acidic medium, see, this is acidic medium, when there are more H plus ions, then the amino acid COOH of amino acid, COOH group will get converted into COO when it is acidic in environment, then there are H plus ions. So this acid, amino acid, takes an H plus ions and gets convert this NH2 into NH3. They accept proton and gets converted into NH3 plus charge. And when the environment is alkaline, it removes H plus ions and gets converted into COO minus. Right here, when oxygenation is there, it behaves like an acid and gives up H plus ion. When removal of oxygen, that is deoxygenation, is there, then, or you can say addition of CO2 is there, then it acts as a base and it takes up H plus. Same. So now the renal mechanism. So renal mechanism, we come, that is renal mechanism is very important, as it is the only mechanism from where that H plus ions or H plus ions are removed. It gives the permanent solution to the acid base balance. When there is increase in H plus ions, so this kidney or renal, it will allow this H plus ion to excrete in urine and gives the permanent solution. So in renal mechanism also we have now three mechanisms, that is bicarbonate, phosphate, ammonia mechanism. So first we are coming to the bicarbonate mechanism. In this bicarbonate, mobilization of H plus ions, you see these H plus ions are mobile from tubular secretion. From tubular secretion, tubular cells passes to the tubular filtrate and is excreted in urine. So how it comes? So the CO2 comes from the blood. This CO2 combines with the water in presence of carbonic anhydrous, it forms H2CO3. This H2CO3 breaks into H plus ion and bicarbonate ion. So H plus ions are excreted in urine, whereas bicarbonate are reabsorbed. In this way, it gives the permanent solution and H plus ions are removed urine. Then again the bicarbonate mechanism, it is the same. In that case, you can see this H plus ions combines with this bicarbonate produced by salt to form H2CO3, and in this way this H2CO3 is excreted. And bicarbonate are again, you see, are reabsorbed. Then number second, it is phosphate mechanism. In that phosphate mechanism, we see that H plus ion produced in the DTC, that is distal tubular cells. These H plus ions are moved to tubular filtrate, where it combines with, you see there is a phosphate ions, that is disodium hydrogen phosphate. This is the base. This gets divided into 2 sodium and biphosphate ion. This biphosphate ion, it combines with hydrogen and 2 sodium to form sodium dihydrogen phosphate. So titratable acids are excreted also in urine. Therefore we see that the urine is slightly acidic always, because H plus ions and acids are excreted there. And sodium is again reabsorbed in exchange of this H plus ion. In all the above also you will see that sodium is in exchange coming inside, and because H plus ions are going out. Then come to the ammonia mechanism. The third mechanism is ammonia mechanism, where you see that glutamine, glutamate or deamination of amino acid all produce this ammonia. This ammonia is then excreted to the tubular filtrate, where it combines with this H plus ion, which we get from breakdown of carbonic acid. This H plus ion combines with this ammonia to form ammonium ion, and it in presence of this chloride are secreted, that is ammonium chloride are excreted in urine. And the sodium is again entered the distal tubular epithelium in exchange with H plus ion, and sodium bicarbonate are again reabsorbed. In this way, acid mechanism we have seen all the 4 mechanisms. Now we come to a point where you can see that though the pH is 7.35 to 7.45, there are some disturbances occurring that are known as disorders. So what are the disturbances? We see how it happens. So the pH normal is 7.35 to 7.45, whereas bicarbonate ions are 22 to 26 millimole per liter, whereas carbon dioxide is 35 to 45 mercury. So this is the partial pressure of CO2, this is bicarbonate ion concentration, and this is the pH. So if we see, if there is a reduction in pH, then the condition is known as acidosis. When there is reduction in pH means when the pH is less than 7.35, then the condition is acidosis. When the pH is more than 7.45, the condition is alkalosis. And now acidosis are of two types, metabolic and respiratory. Acidosis, same way alkalosis are also two types, metabolic and respiratory alkalosis. Now you see, when the term comes metabolic, we always have to see the bicarbonate ion concentration. If there is respiratory term, then we always see partial pressure of CO2 or H2CO3 concentration. So in metabolic condition, now we will see bicarbonate. So if the bicarbonate level decreases, the condition is acidosis, because bicarbonate is base. And CO2, if the Cl2 level increases, then it will form more and more H2CO3. Then the condition is what? Acidosis. So it will increase H plus ion. This will increase H plus ion. This will also increase H plus ion because bicarbonate is reduced. So the condition now comes the alkalosis, where if it is metabolic alkalosis, you will see bicarbonate is increased. When bicarbonate is more than 26 millimole per liter, then the condition will be metabolic alkalosis. So if the term comes respiratory, we will see partial pressure of carbon dioxide or H2CO3 concentration. Then we will see the level is less than 35 mercury. In respiratory acidosis, we will see partial pressure of CO2 increases, so H2CO3 will increase. And now we see the compensation. If it is metabolic acidosis, the compensation is always by respiratory mechanism. If the acidosis is respiratory, the compensation is always with renal. So if it is metabolic acidosis, then what? The bicarbonate ion is reduced. So what we will do? We will reabsorb bicarbonate and excrete what? H plus ion. Here what we will do? It will be by renal mechanism. In metabolic, then we will do it by respiratory mechanism, that is hypertension. If it is acidosis, then hyperventilation we will do, है ना, compensation by hyperventilation. If it is alkalosis, respiratory alkalosis, metabolic alkalosis, then compensation by respiratory mechanism, then hypoventilation will do. Now see the respiratory acidosis and metabolic acidosis. Acidosis is when there is increase in H plus ion. So H plus ions are increased. Now we see acidosis are of two types, that is respiratory acidosis and metabolic acidosis. So respiratory acidosis we see when pH is less than 7.35. So now we come to the disorders. So if it is maintained at narrow range, but still it sometimes occurs disturbances or disorder occurs. So now we coming to the respiratory acidosis. In respiratory acidosis, we know that it is acidosis, so pH is reduced, and carbonic acid. In respiratory, we always see carbonic acid and partial pressure of CO2. So H2CO3 is increased. So H2CO3 will increase H plus ions, and the pH will become less than 7.35, and PCO2 is more than 45 mercury. So partial pressure of carbon dioxide increases. So now what are the causes? Causes, you know, it is respiratory acidosis. So there should be some or the other blockage in the respiratory tract or some problem in the respiratory tract, so the respiratory rates are reduced. So as the respiratory, we have seen that if the rate of respiration decreases, then it causes the retention of CO2. This retention of CO2 will increase formation of H2CO3. ठीक है, and therefore this causes, now we see all the causes related to respiratory disorder like pneumonia, bronchitis, asthma, COPD, narcotic sedatives, paralysis of respiratory muscles, CNS trauma, sleep apnea, all these are the causes of respiratory acidosis. And we know that bicarbonate is reduced and it is H2CO3 will increase. And we know that respiratory, if it is respiratory, then compensation is always by renal mechanism. So increase in H plus ions, so it should be excreted. H plus ions are excreted through kidneys or excreted in urine, and reabsorption of bicarbonate takes place, and in this way bicarbonate level will be increased, and which causes the balance of acidosis. Now metabolic acidosis. So metabolic terms, so we have to see bicarbonate and acidosis, that for pH is reduced and bicarbonate are reduced. Before this metabolic acidosis, we come to a term that is anion gap. What is this anion gap? It is the gap in anions. So if we see all the cations, we add all the cation concentration and all the anion concentration, and we subtract the difference between the anion and cation is known as anion gap. So potassium and sodium concentration we will add, and we will subtract from the bicarbonate and chloride concentration. So we know that this is 98%, this is 86%. So the difference will be 12 millimole per liter. So anion gap level is 12 millimole per liter. So now we will see there are some disease which have high anion gap, there are some disease which have low anion gap, and some with normal anion gap. So high anion gap disease are diabetic ketoacidosis or ketosis, lactic acidosis, renal failure. In these cases anion gap increases, so it is more there. And decrease in anion gap, examples disease we can see hypoalbuminemia, hyponatremia, that is sodium level decreases, and multiple myeloma. These are the conditions. And with normal anion gap, you see it is renal tubular acidosis, carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, diarrhea, Addison's disease. These are all with normal anion gap. Now we see how acidosis occurs. So you see decrease or removal of CO2 from lungs will causes accumulation of CO2 in blood. This accumulation of CO2 in blood will increase H2CO3 and will cause respiratory acidosis. This respiratory acidosis will increase plasma HN concentration, and the result will be depression of nervous system. As the pH changes, there will be depression of nervous system, and failure of kidney, metabolic acid, production of keto acid, absorption of metabolic acids from GI tract, they all will cause accumulation of acid in blood. This will lead to metabolic acidosis. Then prolonged diarrhea, excess loss of sodium bicarbonate from blood, and that will also cause metabolic acidosis. Deep vomiting may cause metabolic acidosis. kidney disease or uremia will also cause metabolic acidosis. Because of this all, respiratory and metabolic acidosis, we know H plus ion concentration will increase and there will be depression of nervous system. So this is the summary of acidosis. Now next is alkalosis, where we see that is removal of H plus ions. So it is decrease of H plus ions, we can see. So respiratory, first, these are also of two types alkalosis: respiratory alkalosis and metabolic alkalosis. So respiratory alkalosis, now where pH will increase and H2CO3 level. Now if it is respiratory term, then we will see H2CO3. So the H2CO3 level will reduce. Why it will reduce? Because the PCO2 level will reduce. So the H2CO3 will reduce and pH will become more than 7.45. Now causes are hyperventilation, hypoxia. So all the symptoms with respiration, high altitude symptoms, high altitude, hysteria, septicemia, meningitis, where you see all these disease will come where partial pressure of CO2 will decrease. So all that conditions will come. So hyperventilation, hypoxia, high altitude, hysteria, septicemia, meningitis, all these are the causes. And you know it is respiratory, so it will be compensated by renal. So excretion of bicarbonate and reabsorption of H plus ions. Then next is metabolic alkalosis. You know it is alkalosis, so pH will increase. And bicarbonate, it is metabolic, so we will see the level of bicarbonate. So bicarbonate here will increase, so it will be more than 24 millimole per liter. And pH is, of course, sorry, it is wrongly written, it is more than 7.45. Then causes you see are vomiting, gastrointestinal obstruction, Cushing's disease, adrenal tumors, intravenous bicarbonate or antacid. If somebody has got acidity, so they eat more bicarbonates, oral therapy. This may cause metabolic alkalosis. It is, of course, it is metabolic, so it will be compensated by respiratory and then will be taken up by renal. So respiratory mechanism, that is hypoventilation. By hypoventilation, now the level of CO2 will increase, which will cause increase in H2CO3, and in this way pH will be reduced and compensation will be there. Anxiety, overdose of certain drugs, high altitude will cause hyperventilation of CO2 and H2CO3 from blood, and that will cause respiratory alkalosis. And prolonged vomiting, that will cause loss of acid, that will cause metabolic alkalosis. Ingestion of excessive alkaline drug, that will cause accumulation of base, will cause metabolic alkalosis. Excess aldosterone, that will cause accumulation of base and metabolic alkalosis, which will reduce, which will form decrease in plasma H plus ion concentration and overexcitability of nervous system. In this way alkalosis occurs. These are the symptoms. So now thank you very much. I hope you like the lecture. If you like the lecture, so please subscribe and see the other videos also. Thank you very much.